Salute, everybody. Welcome to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you're viewing Crypto Kid on Kryptonic Media. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, you're checking out Crypto Kid TV. Our weekly recap is going to be DOGE triggers Democrat meltdown. Specifically, Rep. Anyanna Pressley has had a clown meltdown. And if you go to Crypto Kid TV and you check out my thumbnail, it's going to crack you up. Jose Jesus Tor, welcome. Joe Maldonado, welcome. I mean, let me just tell you guys, for those of you guys that are on TikTok, go to my Facebook, not my Facebook page, my YouTube page. It is Crypto Kid TV. You're going to see the thumbnail. The thumbnail has Anyanna Pressley with a beautiful head of hair. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, beautiful sister. There's no taking that from her. But after Trump got elected president, she decided to do what a lot of women in the feminist movement did, and they decided to shave their heads in protest to Donald Trump being elected as president. And my interpretation, I was watching a beautiful Jewish woman with very curly hair, very attractive, and she was showing herself shaving her head and telling other women to do the same in protest of Donald Trump. And I guess, thank you, Travis Madeline. You just got the #1 gifter badge. And I'm just trying to interpret this. I'm not giving it my opinion. What I believe is that a lot of feminist women who are in the feminist movement believe that they take control by making themselves physically unattractive to men. I don't understand the rationing and everything. You can tell right here, I'm a Rastafarian. I'm not cutting my hair in protest of anything. If Joe Biden had won, I'm not cutting my hair. And you can tell I haven't cut it in a long time. So I don't understand the reasoning there. But Anyanna Pressley had a straight meltdown along with Letitia James. And Letitia James, her future is going to be in an orange jumpsuit, we can already tell. So let's get started with this, everybody. We're going to do a weekly recap. This is Trump's third week. Let's be specific. This is his third business week, which is Monday through Friday of being in office. And we're just going to do a recap. And I'm not going to give any of my opinions. I'm just going to try to give some interpretation because I am a journalist. My background is that I'm a mathematician and full stack Java software developer. I studied at UC Davis. I studied mathematics and economics, and I studied specifically Marxian economics for like 15 years. I was a bona fide hardcore Marxist economist and a mathematical Marxist economist at that. And I don't apologize for any of that. But along the way, I saw, limitations with communism and Marxism. And for me, I'm a religious person. So one of the main things I saw when I was studying the former Yugoslavia, former Soviet Union, I was in the 90s, I was studying communism as it was emerging. And my professor and I determined that China and India were going to be the future big players in the world economy because India is a communist country, but its economy is a capitalist economy. China is a communist government, but its economy is a capitalist economy. So you have to be able to separate democracy and capitalism are not synonymous, and communism and Marxism are not synonymous. Marxism deals with the economy and is adopted by communism, and capitalism deals with the economy and it is adopted by Democrats. So let's be clear about that. So before I get started, I want to send some shout outs to Phyllis, Kendrick Thomas, Cool Cat. Hey, Cool Cow. Thank you for joining us. Zell, Joel D, everybody on TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Let's do market recaps too. First, Bitcoin is up $132 to the price of $97,644. Ethereum, and I'm doing the market recap before we get to these headlines, which are going to blow your mind. Ethereum is up down $30 to the price of $2,696. The S&P 500, I would imagine, is in the green. And no, it's down $1.25, so it will rebound today. It's trading at the price of $6,134. Please send it out to the TikTok universe. Let me get some hearts, likes, and love. That will automatically have TikTok spread it out to the TikTok universe. And finally, the Dow Jones, it should be in the positive, and it is down $165 to the price of $44,546. Now let's jump to those recaps of the Democratic meltdown that I promised you. The first headline here is that, let me pull it back up. So let's go to YouTube. Okay, so the first thing, let me pull up this news. Let's pull it up here. A judge blocks the labor union's request to put a hold or to put an injunction on DOGE and Donald Trump's desire to do an investigation. So the Democrats do not want DOGE, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump to do an audit of the federal government. I have no idea why they would not want to do that, because so far Elon Musk and his team are uncovering a lot of questionable spending that needs to be looked into. And let me pull up specifically DOGE news. Here we go. Federal judge hands Musk DOGE a win on data access at 3 agencies. Welcome, Natalie Ford, Jimbo, Marty Marr, and Big O20. So this is from ABC News. The source is from ABC News. Keep pushing it out there to the TikTok universe. But a federal judge hands Musk DOGE team a win on data access at 3 agencies. This is the Reuters headline. U.S. judges bar Musk DOGE from Treasury, allow access to health, labor. So Reuters is just reporting the negative. Okay. The Treasury, they're going to get access to the Treasury. And the Democrats want to use the notion of private information, but DOGE is the Department of Government Efficiency. And this is old news from this is 16 hours ago. So Reuters is reporting old news about Elon Musk being blocked from the U.S. Treasury. And if DOGE is allowed 3 agencies, they're going to get access to the Treasury. So the Treasury is the one that's releasing money. So that's why it's important to stop the release of money. And this is U.S. District Judge John Bates. In a late night ruling, John Bates denied a request made by a group of unions and nonprofits to issue a temporary order blocking DOGE from sensitive records maintained by 3 agencies. Now, if you guys have been following this, you guys will know that John Bates ruled earlier in the week that the unions have no standing. They don't have any standing to block Donald Trump having access to any of the data. And the president has appointed a team, DOGE, and Elon Musk is heading that team. And the unions have no standing to block that. Nonprofits have no standing to block that. One judge ruled in favor of the Treasury, and with these nonprofits saying, well, we've already promised money. Well, it doesn't matter. If you're a nonprofit, hey, Charlie Brown, welcome. If you're a nonprofit and you promise people money, same with a private organization. If you don't have access to money, then you go bankrupt. That's just how it is. So these nonprofits who are living off of the government coffer freely think that they can indefinitely drain the U.S. Treasury with these dubious requests for money. So So with Judge John Bates, he's a George W. Bush appointee. And on X, Elon Musk has been calling for an impeachment of this judge. And that the reality is that impeachment is a slippery slope. You can impeach somebody, but you need Congress to vote, the Senate to vote 2/3 majority to convict. So that means you need 60 senators that will vote on side of DOGE. And right now, Mitch McConnell is one of the 53 that is voting against Trump. So now you only have 52. And so all the votes are going 52-48 right now. So as far as getting 10 people to get, all we need is 8 people. All we need is 7 people. But Mitch McConnell was voting with the Democrats, so we now need 8 people. We do not have 8 willing Democrats that are willing to impeach and remove a judge. So that path is probably not going to be that successful. Okay, let me continue on. Now, one may ask the question, why are the Democrats having a meltdown? And it's simply because we're finding out that people like Chuck Schumer have received payments. We've found out through DOGE that people like Liz Cheney are receiving payments from USAID. And what USAID is a Ponzi scheme. You have all of these people in Congress, mainly senators like Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Liz Cheney, Bernie Sanders, other Republicans, much more Democrats. And what they're doing, I'm letting you know, once they get elected, they create nonprofit 501Cs. And these companies are things like, we want to bring fresh water to Uganda. We want to bring food missionaries to Uganda. We want to help out in Venezuela and in Peru. And we want to help all the families in the Ukraine. And what we're finding out is both Democrats and Republicans have formed additional 901 nonprofit 501Cs that also are offering military aid to different countries like the Ukraine, Israel, and other places. And what's happening is they're hiring their family members, their brothers and sisters, their cousins, their fraternity and sorority brothers and sisters, their college friends, and all of them are writing in 6-figure salaries for themselves. They're traveling to Africa, South America, Europe, first class, staying in fancy first class hotels. So these, and they're getting their funding from USAID. So what they are, they're just shell companies. They're shell companies that are sponsored by members of Congress. They simply hire their friends and family members, their sorority, fraternity friends from college, and then they're 70 to 80% of the budget is for these people to fly first class, stay in first class hotels, throw fun banquets and stuff. that are extremely expensive and to get six-figure salaries. Then they send money to like the Ukraine, and then these corrupt people in Ukraine get the money, and then they wire it back to the United States so these Congress people can get the money. So what's eventually going to happen is we're going to do forensic examinations. We can't depend upon government employees to do that. And that is the reason why the DOGE team locked out so many people from FEMA, from Department of Homeland Security, from the Treasury, is because these people would tell, like if Elon Musk said, hey, I need this report. Can you get it for me? I need to give that to the president. They say yes. And then 90 days later, they haven't done anything. And they was like, yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on that. They haven't done anything still. And then a year later, they don't have any of the information. So the DOGE team has completely locked them out. They've been transferred to different departments within the federal government. And certain judges have sided mainly with the unions and the Democrats, but the unions mainly have no standing. So this judge here has Judge John Bates, who's a George W. Bush appointee, has denied a request made by a group of unions to issue a temporary order blocking DOGE from sensitive records, maintaining that they have no standing. Okay. And the only way that and besides that, they're trying to say he's getting access to sensitive information. Elon Musk is sending spaceships to the International Space Station. So he already has a government top secret clearance to be able to do that. So that argument is squashed. However, Democratic judges are still siding with the Democrats on that. Let's go further into this article. Elon Musk says there needs to be a wave of judicial impeachments. I'm in full agreement with that. Let's go in here. And the argument by the plaintiffs is that DOGE is not an agency because it was created via an executive order. That's a bunch of crap. The USAID was created by an executive order from President John F. Kennedy. And so that's the reason why it exists. FEMA was created by an executive order by George W. Bush. That's why it exists. The Department of Homeland Security exists because of an executive order that was created by George W. Bush. President Carter wrote an executive order to create the Department of Education. So if the plaintiffs want to use that argument, DOGE needs to use the same argument, pushing back, and have its attorneys advocate for that reason. So all of this is a bunch of garbage. What we need to do is scale down the federal government. The Department of Homeland Security, the FEMA, was created by executive orders by President George W. Bush. President John F. Kennedy created USAID through an executive order, and it was really designed to assist children from the South, Black children or white children from the South who in the 50s and 60s would relocate to California or New York, would be set back a grade level. That's the reason why the Department of Education was created by President Jimmy Carter, to have a uniform level of education. And what has resulted is nationally our education has gone backwards. USAID was to help developing countries develop their country and get education so that they would not desire to illegally migrate to the United States. How did that turn out? Instead, we've had, I know in California, when I graduated from high school in 1987, was 3% Hispanic. And for the people out there, when I graduated from high school in 1987, California had a Hispanic population of 3%. California now has a population, a Hispanic population of 40%, and Los Angeles County is 55% Hispanic. And so USAID failed in that respect as well. So all of this is coming to a head. Anyanna Pressley, I don't believe she's accomplished much by shaving her head bald. What the end result is that she's just going to have less people in the dating pool. So with that, I'm signing out. I'll be back tomorrow after church with the weekly recap. The Democrats are going to continue to have meltdowns because all of their fraud is being uncovered. And in addition to that, we're going to find out that some Republicans also had their hands in the cookie jar. And the first person I would put my eyes on is Mitch McConnell, the turtle. How he's been in Congress for 40 years, and now his net worth is $85 million. We need to investigate him. We need to investigate Nancy Pelosi. She's worth $227 million off of a salary of $200 a year. Now, I'm going to tell you now, she has 97% return over the life of her portfolio. And the reason why she's guilty, and the argument is easy, is because Warren Buffett, the best trader in the world, is worth a little more than $220 billion. And his average return is like 40%, sometimes 55%. So if Nancy Pelosi, her portfolio is beating Warren Buffett, we need to investigate her. How, like, I'm going to tell you now, if you worked for Bank of America for 20 years and you earned $200,000 a year, and at the end of 20 years, you were worth $200 million, you would be indicted and taken out of Bank of America in shackles and chains, turp walking. There would be, and you would get convicted. So why is it that we're allowing Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Mitch McConnell, other Republicans and Democrats become multimillionaires? It's because they're taking bribes, doing inside trading. They threw Martha Stewart in prison. If I was Martha Stewart, I would be suing Nancy Pelosi and members of Congress, and I'd go after Liz Cheney and all those people, and I'd get involved in a class action lawsuit because Martha Stewart had to go to prison, and she didn't make near as much money as Nancy Pelosi, Liz Cheney, Bernie Sanders, and other Democrats and Republican members of Congress have. So with that, we're out of here for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another recap on DOGE triggering a Democratic meltdown. A lot of people are probably going to need to seek some mental health counseling because a lot of their behavior is becoming questionable and dubious and dangerous. So with that, this is the Crypto Kid signing out on Kryptonic Media, TikTok, on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm out of here.